Welcome. Did you ever wonder why the descendants of Noah, when they were scattered from Babel, were so successful in their conquering the lands surrounding the eastern Mediterranean Sea? They even settled in Egypt. This video may shed some light on the problem. I wrote a book, New Evidence for Two Human Origins, which shows that the Bible teaches that mankind has two different origins. One of my videos explains how I mathematically support this view through a discovery concerning the lifespans as given in the biblical genealogies. This YouTube video's title is Biblical Genealogies Show Two Human Origins. In it, I showed a number of charts. 4 of these charts make up a family tree that gives the actual lifespans where we know what they are, and the calculated lifespans of these descendants of Noah. Here is a chart that shows the results of my biblical mathematical study of the lifespans. Some of my other videos are shown for clicking on at the end of this video. Here is a graph that shows that if you calculate the most probable theoretical lifespans of each of the patriarchs and then compare their actual lifespan with those, the actual lifespan of the patriarch always falls close to one of the potential calculated lifespans. And this shows you with the little lines vertically one above the other the most probable theoretical lifespans, and then how the dot is so near to each one of them, and it shows that the lifespans drop and then level out while the descendants of Noah were living at Babel, but then God scattered them, and then it shows that when they go down, they actually go down the average of the pre-Adamic lifespans and their lifespans. And it also shows that they can also go back up if someone marries into a race which has, or not a race, but marries into an individual who has a greater lifespan than they do, then the child will have a greater lifespan than his father. And so it works out real well. Now what I did was, and the purpose of this video is to show 4 charts, and I think you'll be interested in them because from these charts we can find the theoretical potential lifespan of our friends in the Bible. Now, of course, you can read more or hear more about how I got started with calculating the figures for this chart that you see before you. If you go to Biblical Genealogies Show Two Human Origins on the YouTube, which is at the end of this YouTube video, you can just click on it. Before you is a family tree back to Noah with potential and actual lifespans. Page 1 begins with Noah and his wife. Their potential lifespans were 929 years and 277 years respectively. Noah's actual lifespan was 950 years. Their son Shem actually lived 600 years. According to the Bible, his potential lifespan I calculated to 603 years, and his wife's potential lifespan, I calculated to 277 years. They had a son, Arphaxad, with a potential lifespan of 440 years and an actual lifespan of 438 years. At this time, the descendants of Noah were at Babel, and they said they were determined not to be scattered. And so Arphaxad apparently married a sister or cousin who had a potential lifespan the same as his, and they had a son by the name of Shelah, and he probably married his cousin who had a potential lifespan of the same as his. The Bible says that in the days of Peleg, the earth was divided, meaning they conquered and divided the lands around the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Now Shelah had a son by the name of Eber, and Eber must have been scattered before he married his wife. And when he married his wife, he married a pre-Adamic wife with a potential lifespan of about 60 years. And the average of that is 250 years. And Peleg, the Bible says, lived 239 years. And Peleg must have married a wife with a potential lifespan of 250 years. And now we will move on to the next page. The second page begins with Reu, who was the son of Peleg. And Reu lived 239 years, and his life potential calculated to 250 years, and he must have married his sister or aunt, who had a similar potential lifespan. They had a son, Serug, who lived 230 years and would have had a potential lifespan of 250 years. And he must have married into the pure pre-Adamic race of about 60-year potential lifespan. And they had a son, the average of 60 and 250, with a potential lifespan of 120 or 155 years. But Nahor actually lived 148 years. And Nahor must have married a relative with a potential lifespan of 250 years, and they had a son, Terah, with a potential lifespan of 202 plus, and his actual lifespan was 205 years. And Terah must have married possibly one of his relatives, and he had a couple wives, and they must have had lifespans of 155 years potential each. Now we'll go on to the next page. This is the third chart, and we left off from the second chart. Terah with a potential lifespan of about 202, and his wives 155 each. And they had a son by the name of Haran, which would mean that he had a potential lifespan of 178, which is the average of his mom and dad's lifespan. And he had a son by the name of Lot, and Lot had a potential lifespan of 178, and Milcah must have had the same, and Iscah must have had the same. Going back to the sons of Terah, we have Abraham, who had a lifespan of 178, and a half-sister with 178. And then Abraham had a brother of 178. And Abraham had a son by the name of Isaac with 178, and the Bible says that Isaac lived 180 years. And now let's go back up. And Nahor, the second on the chart, married Milcah, and Milcah had a potential lifespan of 178. And they had a son by the name of Bethuel, and Bethuel must have married a non-Adamic or a pure pre-Adamic. And they had a son by the name of Laban, and they had a daughter by the name of Rebekah. And Laban must have had a wife with a potential lifespan of 119, just like himself, and they had Leah and Rachel. And Leah and Jacob, while we're right there, they had a son by the name of Gad and Asher. And if you move over to the left to generation or G22, Jacob had a potential lifespan of 149, and Esau had a potential of 149. That is, Esau was his brother, and Jacob married Leah. And Leah had a potential lifespan of 119. So Jacob and Leah, if you average it, would give a potential lifespan of 134. So their children on G23, you can see they have all the way across 134 potential lifespan. Before we leave this page, note that Jacob had a potential lifespan of 149, and that Rachel had a potential lifespan of 119. And if you average these, you come up with the potential lifespan of their two sons, Joseph and Benjamin. And they're shown in the upper left-hand corner of the next page. We were also dealing with Levi, who probably married his sister Diana, but the point is, they both probably had a potential lifespan of 134 because their son Kohath had an actual lifespan of 133. And Kohath married, most likely, maybe Levi's daughter of 134 also lifespan, and they had a son Amram that had an actual lifespan of 137 and a potential lifespan of 134. Now from here on in, for a while, we don't have any actual lifespans to compare our potential calculated lifespans with, but it comes out that if Amram married Jochebed, and their son had a lifespan of 134, then you carry it down and start in with Aaron's great-grandfather, if his potential was 134, and he married a pre-Adamite with 60, then Aaron's grandfather and Aaron's grandfather's wife, if they had a potential lifespan of 97 and 134 respectively, then Aaron's father would have a potential lifespan of 115.7 if you average those two figures. And if he married a wife of 134 potential lifespan, then Aaron's potential lifespan would be 125, and Aaron's actual lifespan was 123. So if you carry the potential lifespans down through, it works out. There's no problem foreseen in the theory as it moves down through. It's also interesting that it comes down and it levels out at the Tower of Babel, and then when the Tower of Babel marries, it's the average of 60, and the Tower of Babel, that's the potential lifespan, and about the actual lifespan. And it goes down, and it also shows that it can also jump back up again if somebody marries into a larger lifespan, so that their child also will have a lifespan that's greater than, say, its father's. So I hope this was interesting to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. You may want to click on another of the 4 videos that will come up.